Hello. It says I'm live. Now, I won't be fortunate enough to get a commercial. It'll go straight to the damn chat because
Well, you can say fortunate enough. That's only for people who actually have tons of followers.
oh, here we go. Here we go. So, hey LaDonna, hey Kathy, hey Jane. Y'all,
Oh,
thanks for popping in today. It might just be a squirrels.
got
A
to change
squirrels.
my thing over.
Um, welcome to my channel, Miss Damn Jewelry. I'm Dolores, and today it is Double D Live. We are back. I bust out into a Eminem song. Okay. And if you hear the paws of a animal, that is a dog, and I am dog sitting. So I didn't get a dog. The girls are at home with their father. Um, I am Meemaw to this dog, so I'm this dog's Meemaw. So and the other cat's Meemaw. So welcome. So how is Daniel? How's the weather there in Illinois?
It is humid to
Is
beat
it?
the band. But the temperature, supposedly according to my computer, is only 82. That is like wet rag on your face, humid.
I know. I feel it. Hey, Monica. We're glad to be back. Um, there's your bestie from
My
Italy.
bestie.
Yeah, I'm quite familiar. I lived in that for 30 years where it just felt like you walked out and people go, oh, it was like an oven. I was like, no, it's more like a dishwasher. Like
Yeah.
a hot dishwasher.
You think that the weather's changing. I mean, that
Oh,
could be a whole hour of double D right there. And that could be controversial too. Everything's controversial. Hello,
Kathy.
Kathy. Um, but you would think being in the upper Midwest that you wouldn't have these humid
No.
climates, but
No.
we have forever. I remember being all humid and everything when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, we didn't have air conditioners back then.
Now, when I was little, we didn't have them, but like shortly, I guess I got to be about three. My parents were like, "Oh no, hell no!" But it is.
Well, we didn't have air conditioning until I was probably a teenager.
My friend that didn't have air conditioning. Well, here's why. My friend had air conditioning, but they didn't turn it on because there was seven boys in the house, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Dad's like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that." Yeah. So yeah, we headed for yeah. I don't blame you for heading to the lake for a swim. Yeah, nice.
Wouldn't do that for nothing.
Why?
Well, for one thing, I fry. I'm full of fat, so I'm like bacon sizzling. For another thing, I'm fat, and there ain't no way I'm going to take any amount of clothing off. And yes, I know you can swim in your shirt and all that stuff, but then you get out and it's clinging to you. I don't like that. And then everywhere seems to have brain eating amoebas in it. So, no, thank you.
Well, there's that too.
Gone are the days of being worried about pee and poop. Now it's brain eating
Where do
amoeba.
you think the brain eating amoeba comes from? Swimming in poop. Yeah, well, it's that, or you go to the beach and get eaten by a shark. I mean, the choice is yours. Pick a death. I mean, I'm just saying.
And then
Well,
there's the bugs, and I'm
I
not,
shark
there's the
attack.
bugs. I mean, there's also mosquitoes that can eat you to death if you're
Yeah,
the type of person that they're attracted to,
yeah,
which is also me too.
yeah. Mud baths. No, I don't know.
This is just the beginning of the show.
We haven't even got started. We haven't wound up yet. Bree's like, say what now?
So, how's the weather across the pond?
It was earlier today. It was sunny, clear skies, warm. I mean, bordering on too warm for me, but warm. Now it is cloudy. It's supposed to rain all weekend, of course. Now that's the thing here. Now, we do get a lot of rain. That's very true. But this has been like kind of like a monsoon. This is like this whole summer's been a washout, honestly. And that's not too unusual because I've lived here for 20 years. So having a washout summer is not that not that surprising. But hey, you know what? But I'll take it. I don't like hot because we don't have air conditioning, and I don't mind it being like 70, and you know, 70, breezy, sunny. I'll take that. Uh, and yeah, if it got too hot, I'd be in my hose pipe. Do you know what let me tell you a thought I had, and this is about what we're talking about. Do you know when you were young and you would go on the slip and slide? Remember? Back in cast your mind back, y'all. Slip and slide. Right?
Never had it, but yeah, I remember slipping.
Okay. Do you know, do you remember, so when you were young, did you realize that the last time you went on it was the last time you would ever be on it? Like 55-year-old me ain't slipping down a slip and slide. As much as I would, if I saw one, I would be tempted, but I won't break a hip. And I was thinking the last time I went down a water slip and slide was probably the last time I will ever go down a slip. That's kind of sad.
Well, you know,
I love a slip. I love the slip and slide, man. They were cool.
the older you get, the more in things there are.
Hey, Jamie. Yeah. So yeah, the slip. Actually, no, that's not true. Well, I didn't go on the slip and slide that time, but when we were adults, Jamie will remember there was a slip and slide at a adult party. That got hairy.
I was just watching it, TikTok or something, and they were adults where they had put down plastic
Yeah.
in a circle, and in the middle of the circle, this guy was driving one of those easy turn mowers that can like turn on dime,
Yeah.
and then had a rope, and she was hanging on the rope, and it would swing him around. And the thing is, it was full of muddy water, so she had mud all
And
over.
here's the thing. Now, I can see you doing that here, although you'd have to be warm enough because we have NHS. But you break a bone in the United States and you don't have insurance. It's problematic, I think.
Well, even if you didn't break a bone, if she was 30 and younger, then okay. But if you do something like that and you're going to tell me you're going to get around and walk the next day, you got another thing coming.
Hey, Amanda. So I've been. Oh, this is bad. Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's probably in your settings somewhere. I mean, it's a technical question. I can't answer that, but I'm going to say it's somewhere in settings. Yeah. And then they had a water slide too. It was like those big blow up ones. And like grown people were going. And you broke a toe this week? How'd you break a toe, Jamie? It's like I walked from the
She was an adult slip and slide.
So that's what you were doing this weekend, huh? All right. Happy 4th. That's what you did yesterday. 4th of July. That and hot dogs. Just dropping stuff on it. That would have been, yeah, it would have been better if it had been a slip and slide. Yeah. It's like, how'd you break a toe? I walked from one room to the next.
She was trying to put a firecracker out. Oh my goodness.
So today it's been kind of a crazy summer for me in that y'all know about the she shed or the damn den. I've been trying to source an electrician for that. I think I found one now. I think it's going to have electric here soon. But it needs walls, like internal walls. It has walls, but like, that's going to be next year though. I can't afford dropping no more money on that damn thing. And just like, life's happened. I joined. I know we don't talk resale, but I joined Whatnot, and that's gonna take a lot of my time. So I don't have anything prepared. I do, but I don't have my notes, babe. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't have my notes. I don't have like machines I didn't research. This is just based on on my gut reaction to something, and every time I see it. So it's basically a pet peeve. I'm gonna talk about. Hey, Beth. I'm going to talk about pet peeves today because I have one. And if you're on social media, now I only do Instagram. Well, obviously on YouTube. I don't do Facebook, TikTok, and people keep telling me to get TikTok. I said, no, you know what? And it's not because I think the Chinese are going to spy on me. They probably do that on my phone. But don't want it because I will be on it constantly watching stupid stuff. Daniel has messaged me and I send him stuff. He goes, "What are you still doing up?" You know, sorry, I can't sleep. He's like, "Why are you still up?" Instead of, appreciating the meme I sent him, he just asks me why I'm up. I'm here to say, please come visit me in Scotland. Oh yeah, I want to come. I was gonna come. I go every summer to Scotland. Well, I have been going every summer. Again, She Shed is now eating me out of house and home with putting all the stuff in it. So I'm not that whole week that I'm normally go to Scotland. I have that week off. I'm just gonna paint and stuff. Hey, Angela, I'm just gonna paint. Sort out my life, sort out my shed, sort out. Paint my. I got because so okay. So here's a pet peeve. I'll start with this pet peeve. We moved into this house, brand spanking new. Thank you. I appreciate it. Belt lovely. Chef's kiss. However, when they paint the new houses over here, I don't know what they use. It's like chalk. Because as soon as you go scratch it, or touch it in any way, the paint comes off. And you're like, now the whole wall's messed up. And that's just like, because if it happens in one little spot, it's going to happen all across the wall. So what does Amanda say? My house will never be ready for visitors. I bought a static caravan. I'm not allowed to rent out, so you need to come. Hey, I'll come and stay at your static caravan. So now I've got to paint the walls. That's as a line bait is something. It's cheap, Kathy. Whatever it is, it's on my nerves. Okay. And now, because I've scratched it in a couple of places, it just looks crap. It looks like, I'm like, oh, man, now I got to do the whole wall. So I've bought better paint that's not going to chip like that to paint. But I have, again, we both work full time. So I'm got to wait till I get, that's what I'm doing on the 5 days. But in my pet peeve, that one pet peeve. But here's my big pet peeve. Like I said, I watch a lot of Instagram reels because I'm a sado and I can't go to sleep. And I just watch them. And there's these particular themes of reels, and it's not even just the reels. You can read stories about it, or you see things, and there's a special primary. Oh, I'm not doing all that, girl. What, on walls? I thought you could just put paint on it, man. I'm not. What? I spent all my money, Kathy. It better be a one-stop shop paint because I'm done spending money. So yeah. So there's these particular themed reels and or stories and or social media blurbs that you see, and I'll tell you what it is. And I'm not about to shade Americans because I am one. Well, it's not even just Americans; it's other people too. They'll go, "Oh my, okay, I'm gonna act it out, right? I was in drama, so let me act it out." Okay, so I'm the person doing the reel. Yes, I'm the person doing the reel. Oh my God, I just moved to the UK and their food is so weird. What is it about their food? And then they'll go on and say, oh my God, I just moved to the UK. Why is everything so tiny? Because, Susie, we're on an island. That's why. It's an island. It's an island. It's small. Everything's small, okay? And the food thing gets me. Oh my God, I tried fish and chips. So I tried, whatever, a steak and ale pie. I tried eel. First of all, I would never eat eels, and I live here, and I ain't gonna eat eels. Okay, I tried jelly eels. Ew, and it's just the way they do it. Like they just went to the moon, or they just walked into the jungle and picked something. I don't know. It winds me up. It just and then you get the reverse though. You get the reverse. You get people going to America and saying, oh my God, I just tried Little Debbie's for the first time. They're so sugary. Yes, Susie, they are because they're chock full of sugar. Thank you. And I love them. Do you know what I mean? Susie, calm down. Yes, they chock full of sugar. Why? That's why they got a good shelf life. Okay. And then, oh, yeah. Hey, Sandy. Or they'll go, oh my God, I went to this restaurant and it was like way too much food for me to eat in America. I'm like, why are you complaining about getting more bang for your buck there? Take a doggy bag home. You can eat it tomorrow. So I think that's it gets because, and I get like when I moved here 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, I was quite like, wow, okay, wow. Of course, I wasn't making reels on, oh, I don't know, what was it, MySpace, talking about MySpace. MySpace wasn't even happening yet when I moved here. But you know what I mean? Like, I did write a blog going about, oh my God, the British, they eat such weird stuff. Their houses are so small. But you get the reverse though, and oh my God, like, oh my God, why is things so like why is everybody fat in America? That is also winds me up. It's like, Susie, if you're from the UK, look around. Obesity killing everybody here. You might want to take a step back from that comment. And I just think, and I get people are different, but I just think the way they like, it's almost like antagonistic to me. I don't know. I just find it annoying as hell when I see these real. Something in me just goes, ooh, when I see them. Yeah, I would be like, no, and we're going to discuss that on Sunday. We're going to have a live on Best Channel about that. Yeah. So, but it's all good. It's all good. Nothing bad happened. It's just, we'll explain it all on Sunday. But, ooh, who's this cops in the jail? What? Look, Mama called me. Her hairdresser had to stop cutting her hair because her daddy was going cray cray at her house. Ooh, girl, you want to come on and tell us this story? Because this sounds good. LaDonna, what would he do? So what do you do though? I'm so nosy. Oh, she's back to get her hair finished. Another lady had to color. Oh, girl, I bet that's some gossip, girl. I would love to be in that salon right now. Texting everybody, God, you know what happened? But yeah, I do find that, and it's
You can
fine.
make it real about it.
I could make a reel of it. Yes, LaDonna, why don't you make it a reel about it? This hairdresser, she was throwing the caregiver out of the house. Oh Lord! Oh my! Oh, see that's actually kind of sad. That's because there's probably some kind of mental health issue or something going on there.
Probably will be on
Really
Instagram or TikTok or something.
Be on the 6 o'clock news if it's a
Film the whole
small town. So I think it's fine to go now. What I do like, I'll tell you the videos I do like, and I actually saw one today. The danger of home businesses, both hairdressers and daycares. I have 911. We should have Brianna just have her tell us 911 stories. Oh my God. So good. Hey, Grace. Dana Grace. So yeah, but I tell you what the videos I do like. When people go, and I saw one today, oddly enough. You know why? Because my phone hears me. It's conspiracy theory. No, it does. This woman was like, the things I miss from back home. Now that I'm like, I could get on board with. I'm like, okay, and she did it in a really like, not even respectful. She did it in a way like, I miss going to drive-throughs. Oh, because she moved to the UK. Now we do have drive-throughs here. They're not as common, and you don't have as varied choice as you'd have. We don't have drive-through banks. We don't do it. Don't do it. I don't have drive-through banks. Nope. We don't. And she said, I miss Buc-ee's. Absolutely. And she was going through all these things. It was just kind of real fun to watch all these things, like what she missed. And that's what I would like to see, like someone who was here in the UK, maybe do like a comparison. Like this is Tesco and this is, Kroger. And then have the footage from both and just see that would be cool to physically see the difference. But just to whine about it, like, oh my God, the eggs are not refrigerated. Okay, there's a reason we don't refrigerate them. I don't know what it is, but we don't. I think we talked about it one time. Yeah, oh my God, they don't have AC. Yeah, no, we don't, Susie, because where are we going to put it in our tiny houses? On an island, which is this big. So that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have seen them, these videos, right? Right.
I watched 3 or 4 of these people. So I've seen about all of them. But I've also noticed too, not that we're
Right. They don't wash their eggs. That's what they don't do. Yeah. So you keep them out.
yeah, as long as the bloom's still on the egg, you can keep them out.
We keep butter out.
You wash the bloom off the egg, and then
Right. That's it.
you
Yeah.
could get in some trouble.
Our eggs are usually brown, the shells. We usually have brown eggs. I mean, Easter is a pain in the ass because you've got to dye an egg. It's crap. I mean, but then you get some that are both, like if they're organic or whatever. But it's stuff like that. It's like, why do you do this? Why? Because it's just the way people do things here. It's just like you live in
Well,
calm down.
here's the thing: people are now. We live in the day and age, and
Yeah.
we are part of this. That's what you do. People are now making a living off of doing this. So they've got to come up with content, and they've got to have their finger on the pulse of what's going to get them views.
Okay. Well, their content gets on my nerves. There you go.
And you can say, do not recommend and unsubscribe. And
That statement, culture shock. Yep. It is. To be fair, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. I was when I first moved here. I was. Well, raise your hand. I thought there would be no culture shock, and do you know why? I thought that because everyone speaks English. Listen, I was young and stupid, but listen, I hadn't been out of Texas. I mean, yeah, I've been out of Texas, but I hadn't been out of the country. Oh, Mexico, but that is, I mean, that counts, but not, But I hadn't been anywhere outside that continent, okay? Not outside there. So when I traveled to someplace and I thought, oh, it's going to be like, I was a little shocked. Like stores close at 4 on a Sunday. That's it, done. And then people, why don't the stores stay open 24 hours? Why do they close at 4 on a Sunday? Because, Susie, they care about their employees and they don't want to overwork them. That's why.
that is the one thing I have to say about the pandemic, that shut a lot of that down. That shut a lot of that down here.
Can't. USA Light.
So there are a lot of places that used to stay open 24 hours that do not do that
Well,
anymore.
that's,
And I'm like all for that.
We have a Tesco by my house that was 24 hours except on the weekends. It's like, well, that's really not 24 hours. It's just, I mean, 24 hours on selected days. But then here's the thing. They wouldn't get much business after a certain time. So why be open? Like, why waste your money? So they stopped it. It closes at midnight, Monday through Friday. Saturday, it closes at 10. And Sunday, it closes at 4. End of story. We're done. Let's see. Oh, I wouldn't survive. It depends on where you live. Like when it gets hot here, I swear to God, I'm going to get air conditioning. For the 3 days it's that hot.
Yeah,
100%. There are such differences between just Connecticut, Ohio, and from like if you move from the south to the north, you're talking like a big old like culture shock. I'm so bitter that Walmart. Bitter Betty. Go and buy all kinds of goods.
See, I like that they don't stay open because people don't have to. I don't know. Some people don't mind working those shifts, but when they want to make you work those shifts, and it's with the stores being open 24 hours, it's kind of like us being nowadays where you're online 24 hours a day.
Same, Amanda. Stub window. And a Tower fan. Here's the thing. When I lived in the United States, I went to, was it the Kroger Signature on Post Oak at 610? Jamie, you know what I'm talking about? And that was open 24 hours. And I used to go at 2 a.m. You know why? Because no one else was there. I loved it.
Well, and here,
oh yeah.
I don't know how it is with over there, but you have a lot more workplaces that there are 3 shifts.
Yeah, I used to work on 3 shifts.
And so that's when you're going to be doing shopping if you're a second or third shifter.
Well, yeah. Well, when I was in the States, I didn't work a shift. I just wanted to go at 2 o'clock in the morning. But here, true, when I would work shift work, 'cause I did work shift work. I worked 3 shifts. I would go like after work when I was on 2 to 10. I'd go after work at 10. If I was on 10 to 6, I'd go at 6 in the morning. It was great, you know. I would love to, but now I'm like, the only reason why I would want a Tesco to be open 24 hours now is because at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, oh, I forgot. Like on a Sunday night, you're like, God, I didn't get anything for work tomorrow for lunch. Dang it. You know, and the thing is, they'll open at 6 on Monday morning. But on Sunday, we still have that law where things can only be open from 10 to 4. So they can only be open a certain amount of hours on a Sunday. We used to call them blue laws or something in Texas, I think. Yeah. See, her son-in-law works 3-3. I mean, it's more money in shift work. I'm just saying. It's all about the manager. If you know stores that I would want to go off. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to, and like I said, the only reason I would want Tesco to be open 24 hours because 10 o'clock on a Sunday, I forgot something. You know what I mean? It's not like I got to get my whole groceries on Sunday night. You know, it's like, oh man, I forgot to get. Listen, I'm gonna survive 12 hours until I get some. Yeah, girl, I'm not laughing, but I do have Amazon Prime. Even I'm on Amazon Prime, child. Only because I like to watch the shows as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could. I could do it on Amazon, but I mean, I'm not getting groceries on Amazon. Well, I've gotten groceries on Amazon before. Not gonna lie.
I don't. I like things to have hours.
Oh, girl, they still have that in Scotland? Because you can buy alcohol anytime here. If you go to the grocery store, because our grocery stores here sell liquor. Like you can go into Tesco and buy yourself a bottle of whiskey at 6 a.m. if you so choose to do so. I think in Scotland, yeah, I walked into the barricade all of a sudden. Yeah, I think in Scotland they still have it where you can only buy it at certain times.
But yeah, getting back to the subject. What they said, you can have cultural shock here in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I could not imagine me living where I am being shoved in the middle of New York.
Right.
I would not know what to do, or down south anywhere. Or California, you know. But yeah, those people making those TikToks and stuff, they're doing it because they're trying to make money and they're trying to figure out what's going to get people riled up, or you know, something like that.
I think I should make videos dragging them.
There you go. Well, I mean, there's nothing that you could come up with that hasn't been done. I mean, like you dragging the draggers. It's like I watch. So there's this thing called CinemaSins where they drag movies. But then there's also a thing, everything wrong with CinemaSins is a man dragging CinemaSins, dragging the movies. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I watch those. I find them fascinating because I like to see what the British think. And the younger British are all about America. They want to, and several of them have come over and visited, and they do videos on that, and they're amazed by the amount of choices that we have, like within cereal or within peanut butter, or you know.
I mean,
over there, evidently, there's 1 or 2 things that you can pick from. Over here, there's like 15,000 cereals.
I mean, yeah, you have 15,000, but it's not 1 or 2 things. Go to the Home Bargains, and I guarantee you'll find every cereal known to man at the Home Bargains. And tell you what, I mean, they don't have the same brands, but I think, you know, here's the thing. It's great to go experience other culture. It really is, and I have. I'm immersed in this culture. I live it every day. I live the banter, the piss taking, the dry sense of humor. I had to adjust to it. I had to slow my talking down quite a bit because I talk really fast. They told me, girl, you on drugs? I'm like, no, I'm fine. This is how I normally talk. No. So, but I get that. But I also think you have to I think people are losing appreciation where they come from. So, I mean, it's fine to go, wow, this is crazy. This stuff is amazing. Da, 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 da. Do you know what I mean? But also, we have Cadbury. So, screw y'all. I mean, I'm just saying. We got Cadbury. You could throw every argument at me, but we got Cadbury chocolate, and I'll win, basically.
Well, and it's also according to how you were raised and whether you're more used to affluent stuff. Because I can tell you right now, I love it's according what it is.
Yeah,
Sure. It's according there are lots of things in life that overwhelm me with the choices. Food is not one of them. I do quite well with food. But anyways, like me, I know absolutely, other than it being freezing cold, those little houses over in England, I would love. And here's the thing, I also know we have a lot of history here in New England,
Yeah.
but when you go over to Britain, we're talking history. Some of those houses are from the 1600s, or, so what do you expect? People didn't build McMansions back then. They built things to survive in. And so
only a few people had McMansions. They were castles, but
yeah. And so I would not have a problem with it at all. But I could see if you were raised middle class or up, and then you went over and you had never experienced anything like that, where houses were small.
right.
Or
I was from the hood, so I was used to small houses.
Yeah. And
John Robert, listen, I understand what y'all are saying about do Southerners talk fast. Houstonians do. There, I'll put that to rest. That's Jamie. Jamie and I get together. It's like, boo! It's nuts. It's absolutely. But also, we start to talk louder and louder and louder and louder. That's how we talk. That's our love language. But yeah, I mean, I could look. I have a full-time job. I can't be sitting here making TikToks dragging folk as much as I would love to. I got a full-time job. I'm trying to sort out a she shed right now. I'm trying to paint walls with crappy paint on them. I don't got time to be making no TikTok. I'm not even on TikTok.
And see, they're like, I ain't got no time for anything else because I got to make TikToks. This is how I make my living. I got to figure out a subject. I got to come up with something. I got to film it. I got to edit it. I got to upload it. I got to find my sponsors.
We are super loud and talk very fast. Yes, we do. We've always been that way. Maybe it's a Houston thing. Unclear, but it's a 713 thing. That's the area code. Houston. But yeah, no, I would. Yeah, but you know what? I have a job that I will not be gone when they ban TikTok. So there you go. I'll still be working, y'all, in my little lab. I may not be making TikToks.
Well,
I'll get a paycheck.
You hope. Things can disappear very quickly, no matter what it is.
Yeah, we're not Southern. We're Texan. Thank you. That's ask any Texan. But so yeah, so that's my it's a Ridge. Oh girl, absolutely, it's a Ridgemont Mayfair Park thing. Ridgemont in the house, Mayfair Park. That's our hoods we grew up in. And they were hood. Although they've come up now. I was looking at house prices and almost lost my mind when I saw how much they were going for. I was like, they're what now? But it's right by the Beltway. Anyway, so what is your subject, Daniel?
Well, I'm just talking out my ass.
Okay,
as normal.
great.
As normal. But it kind of goes along sort of with the lines like air
Wait,
conditioning.
it's like my internet went down for a week. I got a lot done.
That is
Exactly.
absolutely true. Absolutely. At least for me, if I didn't have internet, I'd probably get a lot more done. Or I'd be in bed a lot more than what I am. Anyways, I was just thinking because I am running around with no insurance.
Oh gosh.
And I was just thinking, you know what? Insurance is a modern thing. Before, basically, from what I did a little research. 1929 is when I mean, they had a few things before that, but 1929 is when the first
In the
health
US.
insurance in the US was set up. And so I'm like, what did you do before that?
Right. What did you do before that?
You just had to, well, people stuffed money in their mattresses.
Okay.
There was a few other things that they said, but you know, and then that got me to thinking, well, Social Security is also a modern thing.
Mm-hmm.
What did people do before that? So basically, it boils down to, especially with the Social Security, is that you just die.
You just what?
You just die,
Oh,
and
okay.
you
Good.
die destitute.
I was just saying.
So
That's what I thought. Paid the bill by trading for it. That's what I would assumed. For medical.
but I mean, if it was something big,
When they got cars.
so I was just thinking about that because I don't have health insurance. I can't afford health insurance on my little bitty part-time job, and even with health insurance,
You're still gonna be out of pocket.
you
Yeah.
still cannot afford to pay the bill, even though it would be 10 times that amount if you didn't have insurance still. But like for Social Security, especially with the older people, they said, back then families were stronger. So you had families to rely on. The
Right.
community itself was
Yep.
stronger. People were more into that. Also, back then, they had poor houses and
Mhm.
almhouses, and they were specifically made to be horrible so people wouldn't want to just become poor so they could go live in these places.
I don't think people wanted to become poor.
No, no, they were saying that those houses were made to not be comfortable, not be they were made so people just wouldn't not work. So
They
they
want
could
to
just
stay home.
go take it like our welfare system now. Some people take advantage of that. And
Yeah,
so
but
the places were not, and there were a lot of things you didn't have property, all that. I don't think you could even move from it, from what I was reading. I'd have to do more research. I was just basically skimming over things,
mhm.
but that was one of the things is the poorhouses. If you didn't have neighbors that would help or family that would help and stuff, or you just kept working until you died. And then with health insurance, people didn't go. To me, I could be wrong on this. I'm talking out my rear end again. But to me, it sounded like a lot of this health insurance was put into place because people were not going to the doctors. And so they weren't making as much money because people weren't going.
Also, a lot of people kind of like just put up with it. They were like, "Well, my arm fell off. Got another one."
Well, and here's the thing, you would home remedy yourself. I mean, I remember I didn't know her that well, but my great grandma, she knew home remedies and she did a lot of home remedies. And my mom said that my brother, when he was little, had the croup
Mm.
and she made some type of onion soup or something and did something. And she said that cleared it right up. And she would go out and she would pick greens.
Yeah.
She had greens every day of her life until the day she died. And when she was young enough, she would go out and just pick them out of her yard. She knew which ones you could eat, and she would have greens. So a lot of people did home health things.
I mean, yeah, my grandma did it, but she's a bruja, so which was kind of like it was a witch, but it wasn't a witch. It wasn't Santeria, but it was. I don't know. She did this stuff where she would just be like, make these concoctions and put them on you or around you, or because one time we went. So back when I was a kid, we went. My parents, my dad was from Del Rio, Texas, which is at the border of Texas and Mexico. And we would go, this is the 70s, we would just go over, we'd walk over into the Mexico part and do shopping. Well, apparently my grandma said some lady was staring at me, gave me oho, and then I got home, but I got sick, and my grandma made and my mom was a nurse. My mom was a registered nurse. She's like, yeah, okay. My dad's like, just let her do it, because my mother didn't want to offend her mother-in-law. She's like, go ahead then. And I got better. She made some kind of concoction with an egg and some ripped fabric and something. Rubbed it on my tummy. Got better. My mom was like, "Oh, it's coincidence."
Well, and I don't think my great grandma, hers was more herbal remedy type of thing, not with a little, magic thrown in.
I mean, a little magic never hurt. Like, I'm still here. I'm 55. She did something right.
But that was the thing. They knew stuff back then. They knew what they could go out into the woods and get that would help with pain relief, or would help with itching, or would help with all that stuff. If and this could happen. We don't think it can, but it can. Look at when there's tornadoes and there's earthquakes and there's hurricanes and volcano eruptions. If everything goes away, and you can't walk into your grocery store because it isn't open 24 hours a day, or even for an hour, even if it, I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, I lived, I did that little experiment a few years back of not having electricity.
No. Okay. No.
And that was something. And I didn't even last the whole dang week. Could you imagine trying to figure out how to survive? And the thing is, even during that, I had running water.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if your water towers are not bringing water to your house and there's no electricity,
boiling,
and you don't know where to poop, you don't know where to pee?
Oh.
I mean, I just, and
true.
I just got thinking about all the things that we are so used to now that are really not that old.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
they're not that old, and we have completely forgot what it was like before that.
Well, I don't think we've forgotten, but what will happen is when Gen X dies, that'll be it. Because I think we're the last ones who, drank out of a water hose, did all these things, played outside, made stuff, knew how to do this, knew how to do that. I'm not saying millennials don't. I'm not slagging off Gen Z or Alpha, whatever they're called. I'm just saying that we were the last, we had no computers growing up. None. Like we had our children teach us because we had no idea what to do, or younger people had to teach us how to use computers because they didn't come to us. I'm 55 till we were like in our 20s before we got computers. So, or any of this other stuff that has, like LimeWire, which now we laugh about. Oh, it's so old. That was a thing, like downloading music and stuff. We didn't know all that. We had to be taught that so I think once the last Gen Xer dies, that'll be it. Everything will go with us. All the knowledge, if we live that long, that'll go with us, because I think we're the last real generation that was like, I don't want to say rough and tumble, but had to do for ourselves a lot of the time. There was nobody, a lot of us.
Well, the technology was just coming in the 70s.
Well,
So
but we didn't have it.
we
You
were,
didn't. I
that's what
didn't.
I'm
Yeah,
saying. It was all new
yeah,
and stuff. So not
right.
everybody had, just like electricity. When it first started coming in, not everybody
Oh,
had electricity. So, I mean, um, it just, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, it's not been that long ago. And what did we, I mean, I'm got to survive without insurance and hope that nothing happens.
yeah. I mean, you talk about these drug commercials for everything. I know. And quick side note: when we're in the States and we're watching TV, and Dave's sitting there. Now, the drug commercials I've known about. They had them. I think they just started coming out when I left. Like, if you take it was the blue pill. Was it the one that makes you erect? What's that called? The blue
Viagra.
Viagra was just coming out when I moved to the UK, so they had commercials on. But we'll sit there and watch TV, and Dave will be like, and they'll be like, "Oh, try this medication. Ask your doctor about this. Side effects may be balding, diarrhea, constipation, erectile dysfunction, dry mouth, death." And he's like, "How the hell would anybody take that if they know all this stuff can happen to them?" I said, "Well, technically, that could happen with anything you take over the counter, but they cover their ass. They have to disclose, because most people aren't going to read the fine print, and then they're going to sue you if your loved one or somebody dies from it. They lost all their hair. I'll sue you. No, that was on the list of. So they put it in the commercials. Um, you know what I mean? So yeah. Um, he just freaks out when he sees them. He thinks they're hilarious. I took classes starting in the early 90s. I see. Yes, in the early 90s. Yes, I was in college. Yes, I was in college when I started to take. I had to take a computer class. I was like, what now? Oh my God, disk operating systems, and it was Windows, obviously. And you want to talk about, like, I didn't. Oh, are you okay? You there?
Yeah.
Okay, you kind of went out for me. Maybe it wasn't. Yeah, on here you didn't. Okay, it was just here. Um, I mean, uh, what's learning computers. Yeah, it was Windows. I mean, Windows sure was great, but you have an Apple. It's just like do 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 do. I'm like, it just made everything easier. I know people you still use Android and all that, and that's all Windows operating systems. But I use Apple, and I have to use Windows at work because they're cheap. But I have suggested they get all Apple systems. They said no. But I love it. I mean, it makes it so easy. Apple, yeah, yeah. Here we go with the Ozempic and the weight loss. Well, remember back in the 90s? Was it the 90s when they had Phentermine, Fen? That was giving people strokes and heart attacks, and you can just go buy it from. You can just get a prescription for it. You
Well,
know.
that's the thing too about stuff nowadays. You take it and then it can give you something years later.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, the with Phentermine, which is basically speed. It's speed. It's outlawed now. It's very outlawed now. But in the 90s, they were just, you'd go to your doctor, you were slightly overweight, you'd be like passing it out. And people are going, hypertension. It was causing hypertension. It was causing heart attacks, causing strokes, because it raised your blood pressure, like, really, because it's speed. That's why.
well, I mean, back way in the day, cocaine was the thing. It was a cure all for everything. And uh, at one point in time, some doctors way back in the day used to recommend people start smoking to help with the
Yeah.
nerves and stuff.
I mean,
And I'm sure there are things right now that in a few decades are going to be like, why did they ever?
I know. Why did they ever take Ozempic?
Why?
It was causing holes in your heart. Oh, wow. I couldn't sleep. Only took 2 pills. Yeah, it was actual speed. It was amphetamines, basically. Well, I mean, that's like when women would have, like, like, oh, like depression or postpartum or whatever, issues because of menopause. They'd give them amphetamines. Like, damn. So they get the housework done quicker. That's why. And more of it. That's why they get from amphetamines. That's my belief.
So see, that's why not having health insurance and not going to the doctor sometimes I feel is okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, and all the drug, I mean, I don't know about here, not so much here. Well, it probably is too. But the doctors, like the drug companies, like, dance with them, date them, like impress them, and here, try this and give this to your client. They stuck them in mental institutions too. Yeah, if the amphetamines didn't work and they weren't using that to clean the house fast enough and do more work, they stuck them in mental institutions. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so sometimes maybe not going to the doctor is probably a better bet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at that point where I'm like the old people back in the day. I just I'm dealing with a lot right now. And if I had insurance, I could run to the doctor. But then a lot of times you get the runaround from the doctors.
Right.
It's like they pass you around. Well, I don't know. Try this. Well, if that's not, try this.
We'll run these
tests.
tests.
No, that's not. Yeah. Well, let's move you on down to this doctor and he'll do some more tests and we'll see. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're fine. It's just depression.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to have these pills. Yeah.
I'm just muddling through with whatever's going on. And if it turns out to be death, then so be it. I mean, as long as it's not something that's debilitating me, you know what I mean? You just keep going. I totally get going to the doctor, especially if you're in chronic pain or
absolutely
something is happening that's just not right. Or there's so many things that I've seen where people have gotten stuff and it's like, oh my God, it's just horrible. So I'm not saying that. It just made me think, in this society where we don't really remember not having some of these things that we take for granted that never used to even exist. And what did people do before then?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And to think, because going back to the computers, if the computers go down, we are in trouble because the computers run everything. I mean, literally, from the water you get into your house is run by computers. The electricity that's coming into your house is run by computers. All the banks, all the stores, all that stuff. If the system goes down, they'll close the store down because they can't do anything.
It's not free, Monica. I pay for it through my taxes, so it's not free. There's such a thing as free healthcare. Well, speaking, like in the older days, and if you didn't have insurance, but I'll point something out real quick. As y'all know, in 2018, Dave had a kidney transplant. Now, he went to the hospital, got his transplant, and he walked out, and there was like no bill. There's some, because he paid his insurance for his entire life. He paid the NH through the NH. He paid his taxes. That money goes to NHS. Okay, so they take a portion of your taxes out, and that goes to the NHS. It's supposed to go to the NHS when it does not. So when he when he rolled in there, and then he walked out with a new kidney, there wasn't like, well, here's your bill, sir. And the average cost of a kidney transplant in the U.S. As of 2020 was $442,000, almost $443,000. Now, that's just a transplant. You have to understand the amount of medication one must take to maintain that so there's not a rejection, you see. So the amount of medication Dave's on, again, he goes to the hospital. They do his 3 months. He's got to go every 3 months. There's another cost. Every 3 months, he's got to get checked. They got to check all his like creatine, all his like vitals, all his kidney function, all these things you have to check to make sure that he's not getting a rejection. So that would come. There's no bill when he doesn't walk out and they go, here's your bill. He goes to the pharmacy, picked up his massive 3 months of medication. They're like, here's your medication. That isn't free. And because he's worked since he's 15 and he is now 69. He's never not worked. He's never not had a job. So he's always worked and paid into the NHS. So he's paid for that. Trust me, he's paid for that. And after you get it, because he has what they call it's a life-changing illness, or it's kind of like a terminal illness, but it's not like terminal. Is that you have it the rest of your life? He doesn't have to pay for medication because of that. Yeah.
Fun thing when I was looking this stuff up, and you guys can look this up, because once again, I was just glancing over. You know how I am. I'm a glancer. I'm not a studier, unless it's something really interesting to me. So when I was looking up how health insurance started and all that stuff, at some point in time, Truman was trying to pass universal health care, but somebody didn't believe in social programs like that. And also there was, at the time, they had all these agencies that were against communism, that they would look into people and all that stuff. And that was another one that was against that. Yeah. So you should look into the history of healthcare in the United States. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Dave works one job now. He was working 2 little part-time jobs. He now works a full-time job driving for a auto parts company, and he absolutely loves it. He doesn't have to work. He doesn't have to work. He's got a pension and retirement. He likes it. 69 years old, loves it. Loves that. He's the kind of person, if I stop working, I die. And I'm like, well, but if he was the kind of person that wanted to be at home, just play, or going out playing golf, that would be fine too. It's whatever he wants. It's like he's like, do you mind if I work? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah. So the thing about socialized medicine, here's the problem, and it's the way, and I'm not trying to shade anybody, but it's the way America thinks. Because I thought it, to be fair. I thought it for a while when I first moved here. Why am I paying for everyone else? Well, you're paying for yourself. Well, no, but I'm paying for everyone else. I'm like, well, yeah, but you're also paying for yourself and your family members, and they're paying for themselves and you. And so the thing is, and they're like, well, that's just socialism. Let me be clear. We're a very capitalist country in the UK. You go to any town center, any corner, there's a pound shop or a dollar store. There's a pound shop. There's shop that we trade with money. We buy and sell. Capitalism is alive and well here. I can assure you in the UK. The thing that they don't capitalize on is your health care. There's not, because it's kind of like it's a human right to be taken care for your country to take care of you. If you're working hard. Now, I'm not saying the NHS is not without its faults. Oh, I'm not saying that. Of course it is. But so is the way y'all, so is the way, not y'all, but there's faults in having private insurance too. Do you know what I'm saying? So nothing's perfect. No system is perfect. The way America does it isn't perfect, and the way the UK doesn't do it isn't. The way the UK does it isn't perfect. But you have to understand that it's almost like healthcare is a human right. You want to take care. You take care of your people, and you have a better workforce. That's better for the economy. It's like that's it just is. So the food industry have here in the United States connected to the pharmaceutical industry. Europe has much better food supply, and that they, I mean, while we were in the EU, we did. The EU anymore. But no,
and
we still have a lot of regulations. No, we do. Yeah.
Like with America, it's never going to happen because the pharmaceutical companies, the hospital companies, all of that stuff, they're too big. And there's
And
too much to lose.
and the other side of that is I mean, yes, money goes into the NHS. People get paid to work for the NHS. Nurses get paid. Doctors get paid. Everybody who works in the NHS gets paid. However, it's not a profit making situation. It's not like, well, we're paying you and then we're sitting on billions over here. You know, it's not like that here. Now, that would be good if the money went back to the NHS. You see what I'm saying? That money. So, there's even been discussions about maybe just charging a $5 every time someone goes to the doctor here in the UK. Like, you go to the doctor, you pay a $5. Everybody has to pay, unless you're exempt. Like someone like Dave would be exempt because of the type of condition he has. I wouldn't be exempt because I have no condition that would require me to be exempt. So if I went to the doctor, it'd be a $5. If everybody paid a $5, but then the argument is, well, I already pay through my taxes. Why am I paying again? Because to me, it's like, well, because you're paying for the NHS. You don't think they deserve to get like more money? I do. I think they deserve standing ovation. I think I think they deserve to, and you also want to keep people at NHS. So you want to make it desirable for them to be a nurse or a doctor you know what I mean? I'm not saying they should, I'm just saying that if everybody paid them, and if there's someone made that argument to me, I'd be like, I'm fine with that. But people go, how do you pay for it? I'm like, yes, but this is your prepay, your copay, So, but then that £5 you paid would go automatically back into the NHS. Because
in theory.
Huh?
In theory.
In theory, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that would. So yeah. So it's just it's like not everything's perfect. I'm not going to say NHS is perfect without its flaws. That's not true. I'm not going to pretend like it is. You know what I mean? So, go to a waiting room and wait 8 hours to get seen. Yeah, that happens. It's happened to me. Now, I'm not saying that's happened every time I've gone, but it has happened to me. And because I'm there, I can walk, I can talk. I'm not on the floor bleeding out. You can wait.
Well,
Your
I mean,
pain may be bad, but
honestly, that happens here too in emergency rooms.
Yeah.
And the cost that you come out with, even with insurance for going to the emergency room, is amazing.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's not without its flaws. Every system has flaws. You just have to figure out what the best way for, but like I say, if you take care of your people take care of you, to some extent.
Yep. Well, we've been all over the place with this
I know.
today.
It's pretty good though. I liked it.
I guess talking out your ass isn't all bad. Oh, mercy. Well, I'm assuming that's the end of the show since it's 3:03.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get back to dog sitting.
It's your channel, Dolores.
Oh, I was going to
I'm like, come on, girl.
Oh my God, I'm a mess. I'm just thinking about cats and dogs right now, y'all. I waited 6 hours in the ER and triage nurse me, categorized me. Yeah, again, see, I mean, that happened and you live in the US where you're paying probably good money. We're all paying good money for it. It's not even about how much you pay for it. It's the fact that you should be given a, given a chance to get better if you can, anyway. I'm going to end this now because it's my channel. It's just like, go ahead, Daniel.
I'm pretty sure she thinks that I'm going to shut this off, but.
Woo! All right, guys. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Daniel's channel. And we will see you then. Y'all have a great weekend and we'll see you next time. Thanks for popping in, y'all. Bye.
Bye.